Okay, so here's another pedantic rant that I'm probably never going to get up, but let's see if I get it up. See if I get it up tomorrow when I'm checking my email. Okay. So here's what I don't like about Lorenz, and here's what I don't understand, and nobody's ever been able to answer my question. Thought experiment. You have two objects that exist in a vacuum. Let's say object A and object B. They are some distance apart from each other. Now object A starts moving in the direction of object B at some speed, and then somewhere along the way, object B begins moving in the direction of object A, or in the direction that object A is moving, and matches object A's speed just exactly to where the object A and object B are touching, and now they're moving in the direction that object A that was originally moving in. Now the second one is object B begins to move towards object A. Object A begins to accelerate in the direction that object B is moving, and then matches its velocity to the point where object A and object B are just touching each other, just exactly. What do the world clocks say? And what does the other one's world clock say? And the other one is object A and object B move towards each other at some velocity, slow down, and just barely touch, and slow down exactly to the point where they just barely touch, and then they're not moving in relation towards each other anymore, but they're touching. And then you have object A moves towards object B and slows down to where it's just touching object B. What do the world clocks say? And then object B moves towards object A and then slows down. What does its world clock say? Give me an example in I guess algebra, an example in what do the numbers say? Would be good. And here's the question I'm asking. If their world clocks are different, why? Because to me they shouldn't be different. And what you're showing me in Lorentz is they shouldn't be different. Considering they're two objects that exist in a vacuum. What you're telling me often is that one world clock should be different from the other. And the only thing I could see that's different about them is that there was a change of state. And it's like this idea of this original starting position, right? Is always what I think about, when I think of Lorenz and how to try to explain it. And maybe Lorenz works, if you imagine yourself as being a stagnant body. If you imagine yourself as having a starting position, all of a sudden it does work, and then when you change your state, then it makes sense. But if there's no starting position, I can't really wrap my mind around Lorenz, because I've never had anybody answer this question for me. Now, in this thought experiment, whose world clock is slower in this thought experiment? Now, the one that they always show in the example is the one that ended up accelerating, the one that ended up changing its state in relation to the other thing. In which case, he had to displace something else's time-space in order to get moving. It's usually time-space, I call it time-space displacement, which means you're throwing something out the back of you in order to move a certain direction. It means you're throwing something in the past in order to move towards the present. That's really the way I want to explain it right now, but I'm not sure if that's accurate, but it's just, I don't know. Anyways, this is the thought experiment. I never had anybody ever answer me these questions. It's go ahead and answer the questions. It's go ahead and answer these questions. And it's they're always telling me that if, A is moving towards B and then A accelerates and then A ends up decelerating to where it's just touching B, A is the thing that has a slower time clock or a slower world clock as compared to B. But who is to say that A accelerated and decelerated? Who is to say it changed its state? What witness in the universe is saying that this thing is moving in relation to this? Because something actually is moving slower in time in relation to something else. And you notice that with light. It's like, why? It's like it's the first that blinks. I mean, time has to move faster, or this shit or that shit, or all this other crap that they talk about doesn't make any sense to me. Let's talk about. Anyway, I'm gonna stop it right there.